Alright, guys, so I kind of wanted to make another video about the Batman Part 2 because Matt Reeves has now come out and talked about it. So, well, I guess just to recap everything, it was recently confirmed that the Batman Part 2 has been delayed from 2026 to 2027, which means that it will now come out ideally 5 years after the release of the first Batman movie. And it's one of those things where people are now coming up with a whole bunch of conspiracy theories because alongside that news came the report that The Brave and the Bold, which is the DCU Batman movie, that's also being delayed. Even though it was never given a release date, so it's not technically being delayed, it's effectively being delayed, right? Andy Muschietti said that production is not going to start as soon as he thought it was, and so he's probably going to make another movie before he directs The Brave and the Bold. So all of this is essentially having people freaking out. They're like, oh no, is the Batman Part 2 gonna end up being canceled? Is The Brave and the Bold gonna end up being canceled? Is the Batman Part 2 gonna be roped into the DCU? Like, what exactly is going on here? So Matt Reeves has talked about it, so I want to play this clip of him talking about the Batman Part 2, not about the delay, to be clear. And then I kind of want to just give my refreshed, now that I've had time to reflect on it, my thoughts on the overall situation. So let's roll this clip here.
Give us some insight into working with the wonderful Colin Farrell.
I mean, he's a genius. He's just absolutely brilliant, and our entire cast is incredible. But he's also just such a wonderful person. There a lot of stuff going on sort of in my life in the last year or so, and he has been such a good friend, such a beautiful man. And so I have to say that I've loved it on so many levels.
That's wonderful to hear. Did you see that?
So actually, on that note, he's actually just corroborated one of the other reports that has been going around, which is that one of the main reasons why the Batman Part 2 has been delayed is because Matt Reeves hasn't finished the scripts. And again, one of the main reasons why he hasn't finished the script is because he has some like personal stuff in his life going on. And that right there is kind of him in some ways. I feel like hinting, or I mean, he might not be doing it consciously, but that's a piece of evidence corroborating that report. He's saying that for the past year, he's been going through something in his life and that Colin Farrell has been there for him as a friend. So that's just interesting. I wanted to point that out. That was a specific thing that I believe Jeff Schneider reported. So, Jeff Schneider is being corroborated here in some sense.
That he ran the marathon recently and helped his friend run the marathon. I'm like, he's a hero.
Yeah, he's just a really caring, beautiful person. I love him. Yeah.
So I have to ask, and you may refuse to tell me anything whatsoever, but what can you say about the Batman coming up?
I can tell you that we're going to be shooting this year, and that we're excited about it. I can't really tell you anything about it, except that we're really excited about it.
What do you feel like the fans are going to like the most? And you can be as oblique as possible.
You mean in the Batman Part 2? That we're continuing the story, and that, I don't know. I can't tell you that right now. I'm not going to give you that away. But I appreciate it. I'm really excited to be making it and to get our cast back together and to get new people involved. And we're really excited about it. And I'm really excited about, I think what I'm excited about is I feel like we're doing something that absolutely continues where the story came from, but is something that I hope people are going to be really surprised by.
I love to hear that, and I am sorry for putting you on the spot. And before I let you go, do you have a favorite award?
Okay, so that's just interesting, right? So he said he's confirming that they're shooting this year, which I believe had been reported, or did James Gunn confirm it? I can't quite remember, but he's confirming it here that they are planning on shooting this year. And I just want to say that on the one hand, if you are somebody that is of the opinion that James Gunn is canceling the Reeves verse, that, you know, Robert Pattinson's Batman is being swept away in favor of having a new DCU Batman, that, you know, James Gunn is taking the power away from Matt Reeves and whatnot. In their defense, we have been here before. If you'll remember, there was a weird period of time where Ben Affleck was playing Batman. There was this weird period of time where Ben Affleck was insisting that he was going to continue playing Batman, right? In the lead up to Justice League, that he was going to be Batman in the Matt Reeves Batman movie, right? Like there was a period of time where this was all being, you know, told to us, and we were fibbed. We were fibbed to, right? Because they had to keep up that lie, right? That Matt Reeves wasn't going to be rebooting Batman in order to not sabotage, right, the success of the Justice League movie. And obviously that didn't quite work out, but they tried. So it just should be noted that we have been here before. It is entirely possible that Matt Reeves and James Gunn are pulling a fast one on us, right? That they've made that, you know, Matt Reeves and James Gunn, they just haven't been able to come to an agreement on how to handle the situation, and, you know, that the Robert Pattinson Batman is just not going to happen, right? They're delaying it way far out in order to, you know, calm the fans down, so that hopefully Superman can come out and be super successful. And then once people get attached to Superman, then you make the announcement that Matt Reeves is stepping away and that we're bringing in a new Batman. Like I'm just saying, we've been here before. That is entirely possible. And I don't think you're crazy if you think that that's what's happening here. But I also want to bring something else up. It's entirely possible that none of that is happening. It is entirely possible that things are going to move forward as initially planned, as initially stated, right? It is entirely possible that we are in fact going to get a DCU Batman, and the Robert Pattinson Batman will just continue and be an Elseworld story. Because while, yes, 5 years between movie 1 and movie 2 is a really long time, something that I haven't seen enough people bring up is the fact that it also took Matt Reeves 5 years to make the first Batman movie. He was announced as the director in 2017. That movie did not come out until 2022. In fact, I remember that we were in a very similar news cycle right now where we were all wondering, like, where the hell is the Matt Reeves Batman movie? Like, when is this thing coming out? When is he going to start shooting it? I remember that we were in this exact same situation. And so I just want to bring that up as another possibility, another very real possibility, right? That it's entirely possible that Matt Reeves is just a really slow writer. Now listen, there were extenuating circumstances when it came to the first Batman movie, right? COVID. But again, just remember, he was hired as the director since 2017. He had like 3 years before COVID hit. Like, he reasonably could have written that script in 2017, started shooting in 2019, and then, you know, maybe the movie gets delayed because of COVID, but then have it released in like 2021. But no, they weren't shooting until COVID. So I just want to point that out as well. You know? And there are also some extenuating circumstances with the second one, right? Like, he had to deal with the writer's strike, and the actor strike probably. Although the actor strike probably wouldn't have affected it because they wouldn't have been ready to shoot. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's entirely possible that all of this is just purely innocent. Because remember this as well. One of the big things that James Gunn has said is that he is not going to rush projects into production. He will not start production on a movie until they have a finalized script. That's something that he said, right? So it's entirely reasonable that they can't crack the Brave and the Bold script. And so Andy Muschietti is going to do something else in the meantime while they work on the script. And that honestly is just coinciding, or that's going along with what James Gunn has said, that's how they're going to handle it. So it's entirely possible that both of these projects are innocently being developed. And to be fair, like, a lot of people have been questioning, right, James Gunn's release strategy. But his release strategy kind of backs up his core premise of, hey, we're going to release stuff as we make them, right? We're not, like, James Gunn, it doesn't seem like he has this, like, master plan, because he started his universe out with Creature Commandos. Like, it doesn't really make any sense to start off with that project, but it was done, and so he released it. And then after Superman is going to be Peacemaker. I don't think for any real reason other than it's gonna be done. It's just what was developed first, and then Supergirl. Like, Supergirl is gonna be the next movie after Superman. I don't know that I don't think that necessarily makes much sense. I don't know why you would release two like kind of samey movies right after the other. But Anna Nugura, she finished the script. And James Gunn likes it, and so they're rolling into production on it. Same goes for Lanterns. Although Lanterns actually makes sense as a series after Superman. But I'm just saying, like it's entirely possible that this is all just kind of innocent. It is. And here's another possibility. Maybe one of the reasons why the script isn't finished is because James is sort of the opposite of what I mentioned earlier, where it's entirely possible that Robert Pattinson is being worked into the DCU as the DCU Batman, and so they're sort of doing away with the Brave and the Bold. And Matt Reeves has decided that, you know what, he does want to have Robert Pattinson be the DCU Batman. And he does want to rework his script so that it fits into the DCU. That's also entirely possible. So I guess I wanted to make this video to just say that I'm not going to freak out about all of this just yet. I don't think we have enough information to truly truly be certain about anything, right? So I'm not going to be too nervous about anything happening. I'm not going to get too committed or angry or happy or upset or anything. I am just going to chill out and just wait and see what happens. Because I will say this as well. Like, I've seen a lot of people saying that, like, oh, 5 years is too long, they might as well cancel it. And it's just like, I don't really think so. Is it ideal? No. But, I mean, James Gunn actually put a tweet out kind of bringing up a bunch of examples, but it's like, there have been sequels that have come out long after the first one. And it's not like it's as long as it comes out and it's good, it'll be fine. I think it's only really because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC extended universe and now the DC universe, where it's like, oh no, if you don't have the next project lined up, oh it's a disaster. Oh no. When it's like, the Batman isn't playing, like, the Batman universe isn't playing by those rules. It's its own thing. It's a lot more like, the Nolan trilogy, where it's like, if it had taken 5 years from the Batman Begins to the Dark Knight, I don't think that would have been that big of a deal. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Now, what do I personally want to see happen? I personally want to see the Robert Pattinson Batman remain separate from the DCU. Because in my eyes, like, people are like, oh no, general audiences aren't going to get it. They're going to be confused. And it's like, I think general audiences are smarter than people give them credit for, to be completely honest with you. And I'm also of the opinion of, like, you're either doing Elseworlds or you're not. Like, you're either going to try to create the Elseworlds banner or you're not. And if you are going to do Elseworlds, then you've committed to the possibility of there being two Batmen. I mean, what? Like, if they're operating under the assumption of, oh no, audiences are going to be confused by two different continuities, then you might as well just scrap Elseworlds because you don't believe in the concept. So I think it can work. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think that as long as the Matt Reeves Batman remains leans even harder into the realism, and the DCU Batman leans hard into, like, the fantasy and the sci-fi, then I think they can both work, right? Because I really started to feel that way, especially so when I watched the last episode of Creature Commandos, and it's like, you see that Batman stopped Dr. Phosphorus, and it's like, I don't see Robert Pattinson Batman in this world. Like, I don't know. Like, at least coming off of the Batman, like, was that guy fighting Dr. Phosphorus? Was that guy fighting the clay monster Clayface that was in, like, episode 3 or 4 or whatever? Like, I don't know if I buy that, right? Unless they try to make it be the case that the Batman took place, like, way in the past, and then we meet up in the Batman Part 2, and then maybe we meet up with a much older Batman that has now been, like, entrenched into a more fantasy setting. Like, maybe they do something like that, but I don't know. Especially, like, if this Batman is gonna have Robins and stuff like that, it's like I don't personally want to see them, like, hardcore change the Robert Pattinson Batman and just, like, shove him into the DCU. I just don't think it fits. So that's what I want to see happen. But like I said before, I'm not going to stress too hard about what I think is going to happen, because, again, I don't think you're crazy to think that everything is going down in flames and that Matt Reeves is being kicked out, because we've seen this before. They've lied to us before. If you'll remember, actually, James Gunn straight up lied about the start of his DCU. He straight up lied and said that the Flash was going to lead into the DCU. That was just a straight up lie. Like, he straight up alluded that the Flash was going to be a Flashpoint event that, like, spawns the DCU. I mean, he didn't explicitly say that, but he very much hinted at that. And the ending of the Flash has nothing to do with the DCU, right? Aquaman had nothing to do with the DCU. Like, that's not canon. Jason Momoa is coming back as Lobo, not Aquaman. So as much as I love James Gunn, he's a liar, which is fine, because these people are trying to do, or, like, they have to act strategically in order to best position themselves. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Sometimes you gotta lie. Andrew Garfield had to lie about being Spider-Man. So, anyways, those are all of my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And and I'll end by saying this: like, if the main reason why Matt Reeves hasn't finished his script is because he's dealing with personal stuff, then, I mean, obviously that's more important than a stupid Batman movie. So let's just chill out. wait until we get some more information. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.